Good morning, students. So, in the previous lecture, I have discussed star delta conversions in parallel series combination. Okay, in today's class, we'll be doing symmetry rules as well as cubical networks. Okay, so look at the part 5 of capacitors, starting with symmetry rules. Okay, so look at the two symmetry rules. Okay, for solving complicated questions, we can make use of two rules of symmetry. Okay, the first one is called parallel axis of symmetry. Okay, so this is also called folding axis. Okay, the other name that we give for parallel axis of symmetry, it is also given a name as folding axis of symmetry. Then second one is perpendicular axis of symmetry. Okay, so this is called mirror symmetry. Okay, so these are the two symmetry rules which we'll be using for solving the questions. So let's see how to apply first parallel axis of symmetry. Okay, to understand this parallel axis of symmetry, we'll go with one simple example first. Okay, look at this circuit. Okay, though I am discussing it for capacitors, remember it's also applicable for resistors. So when we do current electricity, I am not going to repeat the same. You can directly make use of these rules. Okay, number of capacitors. Okay, so this is A and this B. Okay, so I take all the capacitances or of equal capacitance C. Okay, so this is a network of capacitors, and for this network you are asked to find out equivalent capacitance. Okay, so to determine this equivalent capacitance, first consider an axis which is passing through AB. Okay, so imagine a line which is passing through AB, and now if you observe, this is your reference line. The upper part of the circuit and the lower part of the circuit, are they mirror images of each other? That means for every capacitor lying on the top, there is a capacitor at the bottom. See, for this capacitor, this is the image. For this capacitor, this is the image. So here also I will give one. For these two capacitors are mirror images of each other. So if you observe a symmetry along the line AB, then you can fold the circuit about this particular line. Okay, so again I repeat, if there is a symmetry along the line which is parallel to A and B, then you can fold the circuit about this particular line. See, when I fold it, that's why it's called as folding axis of symmetry. This point will come in contact with this point. The points which are coming in contact are said to be at same potential. So if I name this point as some point, say P, here also the potential will be P. These two points will come in contact. So Q and Q are at same potential. Again, R and R are at same potential. Now since these two points are at same potential, you can just fold the circuit. So when you fold the circuit, I will show you the next diagram. How does the circuit look like? C will overlap with C, this will overlap with C. So these two capacitors will come in parallel with each other. Between P and Q we have two capacitors. They are parallel to each other. We know when they are parallel to each other, capacitance will become double, 2C. So I will redraw the circuit after folding. Okay, so this is capacitor C, and here you have a capacitor C. Okay, this point I will call it as O. So C and C, this will become 2C, because these two are parallel to each other after folding. These two will become parallel. So 2C. Here you have 2C. This is terminal B. C and C to C, and this is C and C to C. See, we have got a reduced circuit. Okay, and now observe this. This is P, this point is Q, and this point I have written it as R. Now we have got a circuit like this. Now you can clearly see 2C and 2C are in series. This 2C and this 2C are in series. If I write the next step of the circuit, okay, so how does it look like? Implies from this I am modifying it. This is your line AB. Across this line we have C. This is O. Here we have a capacitor C. Since 2C and 2C are in series, answer will become C. Here I have 2C. Again 2C and 2C are in series. It will become C. This point is A and this point is B. Okay, now you can see it's a simple Wheatstone-Bridge principle. C by C is equal to C by C. So this is your central capacitor, and since it's a balanced Wheatstone-Bridge, you can remove this central capacitor. And when I remove this, these two are in series and these two are in series. So what will be the equivalent capacitance? C by 2 above, C by 2 below. C by 2 and C by 2 put together, your equivalent capacitance becomes equal to C. So this is how, by using the symmetry rule, we have reduced our length of the question and got the answer as equivalent capacitance equal to C. So this is one of the methods of solving by using the symmetry rule. Okay, now coming to perpendicular axis of symmetry. So in parallel axis of symmetry, we have seen just now how to apply and simplify the circuit. So let's look at perpendicular axis of symmetry. Okay, to apply this perpendicular axis of symmetry, okay, let us take one simple example of a circuit. Okay, so here I will take a hexagonal circuit. Okay, every edge of a hexagon is connected to a capacitor. Okay, across each edge I will take one capacitance C. Okay, this is how your circuit is, and we need to find out the equivalent capacitance between the points A and B. Okay, take all the capacitances as equal to C. Since we need to find out the equivalent capacitance of this circuit, we will check for perpendicular axis of symmetry. That means draw a line dividing the circuit into two parts. Okay, perpendicular to AB. Okay, this is called the mirror axis of symmetry. Okay, because we have to check whether the left part and the right part are mirror images or not. But while doing it, see, it is passing through the capacitor. So I will divide this capacitor into two parts, 2C and 2C. We know 2C and 2C in series will give you the same answer, that is C. So I am replacing this C as 2C and 2C. Now see, if I divide this into two parts, left part is the mirror image of right. These two are equal and opposite to each other, means mirror images to each other. These two are mirror images to each other. This and this are mirror images of each other. So since left and right part of the circuits are mirror images of each other, then observe how the charge is divided. If this charge is divided into three parts, say Q1, central one is Q2 and Q3, it should come back as Q1, Q2, Q3. Now observe the central branch of this arrangement. Charge entering the junction is Q2 Leaving this is also Q2. Since the same charge is flowing without any deviation, you can cut the circuit here, join the upper two and lower two capacitors. So what did we do in perpendicular axis of symmetry? We have checked whether left and right parts are mirror images of each other or not. After that, this line which is passing through the junction, we have cut the junction, connected the upper two capacitors and lower two capacitors. And once you do this, the circuit becomes simpler now. Okay, after cutting the junction, look at how the circuit looks like. Okay, after modification. Central branch I am not changing. C and C. Upper loop got separated. Okay, here we have made it into C and C. We have removed this junction. Okay, this is how we will get it. Okay, now try to simplify. C, C, all are C. So how are these two capacitors connected in series? So since they are in series, C and C in series will become C by 2. C by 2 plus C, because they are in parallel, answer will be 3C by 2. So I will remove these three capacitors with a single capacitor, that is 3C by 2. Similarly, this lower 3 also can be replaced as 3C by 2. Now observe all the three are in series. So what will be the equivalent capacitance of this? Reverse the fraction, 2 by C3 plus 1 by C plus 1 by C. I will call it as 1 by C dash. So find out what is the value of C dash. Take LCM. 3C, 2 plus 3 plus 3. So C dash comes out to be 3C by 8. Okay, now I am modifying the circuit again. Remove this lower 3 with a single capacitor of 3C by 8. The upper three capacitors are in series. It can be replaced as 3C by 8. Now these two are in series. I will replace it with C by 2. Now how are all the three capacitors connected in parallel combination? So find out. C equivalent will be 3C by 8 plus 3C by 8 plus C by 2. Okay, when you take LCM, you will get it as 8, 3 plus 3 plus 4 into C, that is 10C by 8 or 5C by 4. Okay, so this is how, by applying the perpendicular axis of symmetry, we have simplified the network and got the equivalent capacitance as 5C by 4. So there is one more method, okay, how you can simplify the circuit using the same symmetry, that is perpendicular axis of symmetry. So look at the alternative method. Answer won't change, but that is also one of the methods. See, the same circuit I will be taking. Hexagonal. Before cutting it, okay, this is how the circuit was looking like. Okay, the sum of all these capacitors. Okay, I have divided this into 2C and 2C. Here also we have separated it as two capacitors, 2C and 2C. If you draw a line perpendicular to the line passing through the power supply AB, this was symmetric about this line. That means the left part was mirror image of the right part. So instead of solving the whole circuit, if you can find out the equivalent capacitance of this half, and I will call this as C dash. The second part also will have the capacitance C dash. So how are C dash and C dash connected in series? So what would be your C equivalent equal to C dash divided by 2. So let us see whether we can get the same answer or not by dividing it into two halves. I will only calculate the equivalent capacitance for the first half of this circuit. So for the first half of the circuit, if I remove this second half, this is 2C, I will join all of them. Here we have 2C. Only for this half I am going to calculate the equivalent capacitance. See, this is 2C and C. Okay, you can see 2C and C are in parallel combination. Here also 2C and C are in parallel combination, remaining is C, C and C. Okay, I am reducing this circuit. 2C and C in parallel combination will become 3C. So central capacitor I am not changing. This capacitor is C. Here also we have C. But sum of these two I can write it as 3C. These two put together I will make it 3C. This is your circuit. Now how are 3C and C in series? Since they are in series, 3C and C in series will become 3C by 4. Again 3C and C in series. 3C into C by 3C plus C. That will be 3C by 4. Now how are all the three branches in parallel? So C dash is equal to C plus 3C by 4 plus 3C by 4. Take LCM. 4. 4 plus 3 plus 3. 10C by 4. But this is the value of C dash. What should your answer be? C equivalent should be half of this value. So the equivalent capacitance of this complete network should be half of this, that is 10C by 8, which is nothing but 5C by 4. See, did we get the equivalent capacitance as equal to 5C by 4? So this is how you can use this perpendicular axis of symmetry. So this is one example where we have applied the perpendicular axis of symmetry and so on. So after this we will be studying about cubical networks. Okay, for a cube, okay, there are three questions that I will discuss in cubical networks. Assume that this is a cube. I will name it as A, B, C and D, E, F, G and H. Across each edge of a cube I am taking one capacitor. Okay, altogether there will be 12 capacitors. Let each capacitor have a capacitance C. Now regarding cubical networks, they can ask you three different questions. Find equivalent capacitance, C equivalent, the first question, across A and G. Okay, this is the principal diagram. So for all principal diagonals, answer will be the same. See, I can give you C, D and F. This is another principal diagonal between B and H or E and C. But whatever it is, answer is not going to change. For all the principal diagonals, you are going to get the same answer. Second bit is across one edge of a cube. Okay, any one edge I can take because there are 12 edges. So C equivalent across A and E. For all the edges, you will again get the same answer. Third, C equivalent across phase diagonal. Okay, we have 6 phases in a cube. 6 twos for 12 phase diagonals, answer will be same. So this is a phase diagonal. This is a phase diagonal. E and G is a phase diagonal. H and F is a phase diagonal. Okay, I will take between E and G. So for all the phase diagonals, your answer is not going to change. Okay, so this is how you can find out the equivalent capacitance, or let us see how to find out the equivalent capacitance. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Across the principal diagonal, that is between A and G. Okay, so to begin with A and G, I will connect a power supply between A and G. Okay, I am finding equivalent capacitance between A and G terminals. Okay, let this be a battery which is going to supply the charges. So I will give you equivalent circuit. You can also solve it by division of charge. So that also I will tell you later on. But here I will show you the how to make the equivalent circuits. See, this is a battery. When the charge is entering this junction, it is divided into three parts. Okay, it is going to D, B and E. Since all the three capacitors are same and A is equidistant to B, D and E. That means A to B we are crossing one capacitor only, which is having capacitance C. A to D also we have only one capacitance, and A to E also we have only one capacitance. So therefore, potential at B, because it is equidistant, will be equal to potential at D, because it is equidistant, equals to potential at E. Okay, with respect to A I am taking all of them. Potential difference between A to B, A to E, A to D will be same. Similarly, when you come back to the receiving end, again charge is coming from three equal capacitances. Potential at H to G, F to G and C to G. I repeat, because it's distributed as three parts, coming at the end as three parts. These three terminals are also at equal potential. That means potential at H, F and C are also equal. Potential at H equals to potential at F is equal to potential at C, and these two are also at same potential with respect to G, because G is the receiving end, A is the starting end. Now I will redraw this circuit. Okay, so start from A. This is your terminal A. A is connected to B, D and E with a capacitance C. A is connected to three capacitors. Okay, E, D and B. Since all of them are at same potential, I can join them. Okay, I am joining it. Go from other side. Okay, from G I will repeat my diagram. This G is connected to F, H and C. See, G is connected to F, H and C. Just now I told you all these three are also at same potential, just join them. See, you can clearly see all the three of them are in parallel combination. Now come to each end. This is E. See, is E connected to H and F by making use of two more capacitors? So start from E, E to G and E to H and E to F, we have two capacitors. Anyway, all of them are at same potential. I can just make two capacitors like this. Then whatever are connected, I am cancelling. E to H is connected, E to F is connected. This we have taken, we took D, this also is completed. These three we have already done. Now come to A, or come to the terminal D. D is connected to H, D is also connected to C by means of two capacitors. So I will connect them. D is connected to H as well as C by means of two capacitors. At last, B is connected to C, B is connected to F. B is connected to C, B is also connected to F. Anyway, all of them are at same potential. I can make the circuit like this. Now observe, this was a three-dimensional circuit. I made it into a linear. All the capacitances are equal. How are these three capacitors connected in parallel? So 3C, 6 of them in parallel. 6C, again 3 in parallel, 3C, between A and G. Now all the three branches are in series combination. So what will be your equivalent capacitance? 1 by C equivalent is 1 by 3C plus 1 by 6C plus 1 by 3C. Take LCM. 6C, 2 plus 1 plus 2, or you will get C equivalent, reverse the fraction. 6C by 4, 6C by 5, sorry, or 6 into C divided by 5 is your equivalent capacitance across the principal diagonal. So for any principal diagonal, answer is not going to change. You can remember this result as equal to 6C divided by 5. And even when you are solving it for resistors, you can follow the same equivalent circuit. Okay, now coming to calculating the capacitance across the edge of a capacitor. Okay, so that is across the terminals A and E. Okay, I took the same diagram. Let each capacitance be C. Okay, let us make a simplified circuit. Now before that, since the charge is entering from E and leaving from A, so from E, H and F are at equal distance. So potential at H will be equal to potential at F. Okay, I am identifying the equipotential points. So from E to H we have equal distance. E to F is also at equal distance. So potential at E and F are same. Similarly from A, if you go to D and B, potential at D will be equal to potential at B. Because with respect to A, potential drop across this and this will be equal because both of them are equidistant. And now using this, I am going to make a circuit again. Start between E and A. Okay, redraw the circuit. These are the two ends. Here we have a capacitor whose capacitance is C. So whichever capacitor you are connecting, you cancel all that. Then from E, we have a capacitor towards H and F. E to H, E to F. And see, H and F are at same potential, you can join them. These two are connected. Come to down, A to D, A to B, two more capacitors. And these two are at same potential, join them. Now I will make the circuit from opposite direction. Opposite to CE we have CG. So here I will make G and C. Okay, for this edge, this is the opposite edge, C and G edge. I am starting from C to G. So this is a capacitor connected between C and G. Since it is connected, cancel it off. Now from G, you have a capacitor towards H, from G to F. There are two capacitors between this junction and G. G to F, G to H. Cancel off them. Similarly, C to B, C to D. C to B, C to D. Two more capacitors between C and B. So these two are also connected. Now we are left with only two vertical capacitors between H and D, F and D. H and D, F and D. So vertically we have two more capacitors. Okay, you can connect them. Now see, I have again made this three-dimensional into a flat network, and now wherever you get parallel combination of capacitors, you can make them as 2C. So reduce the circuit to 2C, 2C combinations, C and C in parallel. This is E. This C I am keeping it as it is. This is your power supply. Here we have a capacitance 2C, 2C and 2C. Continue. 2C, C and 2C. Now you can start solving it from one corner. Okay, how are these three capacitors connected in series? 2C, C and 2C in series. See, 2C and 2C in series will become C. C and C in series will become C by 2. Okay, I'm reducing this circuit further. Okay, so that you can simplify it. Okay, so from here I am writing it here. The last three, when reduced, this will remain as C between E and A. This is 2C, 2C, 2C. So when you calculate the equivalent capacitance for all these three which are in series combination, okay, you will get the answer as C by 2. C by 2 is in parallel to 2C. So C by 2 plus 2C. It becomes 5C by 2. So I can remove this with 5C by 2. C, 2C, 5C by 2 and 2C. Now I think it is possible to simplify it further. These three are in series parallel to C. Okay, last one more step. If 5C by 2, 2C and 2C in parallel, I will write it as 1 by C dash is 1 by 2C plus 1 by 2C plus 1 by 5C by 2. So 1 by C dash would be, take LCM, 10C, 5 plus 5 plus 4. So C dash is 10C by 10 plus 4, it is 14, nothing but 5C by 7. And finally, this combination is in series with C. So what will be your C equivalent? 5C by 7 plus C. Your answer will be 12C divided by 7. So this will be your answer for equivalent capacitance across one edge of a cube. And your answer won't change even if I change the edge. For all the edges, answer will remain the same. For any edge of a cubical network, what is your answer? Answer should come for capacitance, it is 12C divided by 7. So this is how you can reduce the circuit or do the cubical network combination for one edge of a capacitor. So two cases are completed. Now coming to the last case, across the principal, across the phase diagonal. Okay, I am repeating the same diagram. But now we want equivalent capacitance across the phase diagonal. So I call it as E, F, G and H. So across E and G we are going to find out the equivalent capacitance. So this is the power supply. Assume there is a capacitance across each edge. Again, you have to identify the equipotential points. See, assume that the charge is coming from this point till this junction. It is divided into 3. So let me divide this as Q1, Q2, Q3. Again, it has to reach this junction as Q1, Q2 and Q3. Now observe the charge in this branch and this branch. What is the charge flowing from E to H? Q1. The same charge is entering from H to G. Since the same charge is flowing through this whole branch, no charge is passing through this vertical line. Similarly, look at this junction, Q2 and Q2. So no charge is flowing through this vertical line. Since there is no charge on the vertical lines, I can remove them. So I will remove these two vertical lines. This is how your circuit looks like. So already it is a simplified network. I will put the capacitors and show you now. This is C. Down you have a loop. Every edge there is a capacitor. Okay, if I reduce it here itself, see, C and C in series will become C by 2. C and C in series will become C by 2. C by 2 and C by 2 in parallel, you will get it as C. That means this square part has reduced it to C. Vertical C, I have kept it as it is. Similarly, here you have one more C. This is again a loop. C and C in series C by 2, C and C in series C by 2, C by 2 and C by 2 in parallel, it will become C. And this is the terminal E and G. See how are all the three capacitors in series? C, C and C in series will become C by 3, that is parallel to C. So C equivalent will be C by 3 plus C. Take LCM, 4C by 3. So what should be your equivalent capacitance across one principal diagonal? Not principal diagonal, I'm sorry, phase diagonal. For all the phase diagonals, answer will remain the same. And your answer is 4C by 3. So exactly similar, you can do it even with resistors. Equivalent circuits you can make, but instead of capacitors, you will get the resistors. So these are the 3 bits regarding cubical networks. And sometimes, I'll give you one more question, try to answer it. Okay, there is a network of capacitors as shown below. Okay, so all these are capacitors, equal capacitance. Okay, what is the equivalent capacitance? C equivalent across A to E. Find C equivalent across A and G, and C equivalent across A and C. 3 bits. Think of it. How will you solve this? If you observe the question carefully, you can give me the answers of these 2 without any calculations. Any idea? No? It is nothing but a cubical network. See, this is a square. If I pull this center upward, do we get a cube? These are the vertical lines. I've just compressed the cube and showed you the diagram. I repeat, pull this outside the board. 4 squares on the top, 4 on the plane. These are vertical. This is nothing but a cubical network. And just now we have solved for all the 3 of them. Look at what is AE. Is it one edge of a cube? For one edge of a cube, we have got the answer already. It is 12C by 7. Okay, this is for an edge. 12C by 7. AG. AG is the principal diagonal. For principal diagonal, what was the answer? 6C by 5. Across AC. See, A and C are phase diagonals. Just now we have done it. For phase diagonal, what is the answer? 4C by 3. Okay, if you remember, you can write the answers quickly. So these are the 3 possibilities in which cubical networks questions may be given. So this is all about cubical networks in today's class.